right? So those content we are framing. Whatever the content we want to display to the browser, those content we are framing in the HTML tags. With the help of HTML tag, I'm going to display to the browser, right? So earlier it was only in the what text format. There is no, they were not using any CSS, nothing but cascading style sheet, right? Only the content, what content is there, what content they're going to display. How it is visible for the user, that doesn't matter, right? Whether the header may be in the center or in the right or in the left, or the paragraph it is comes under between center or the right, or it is quite clearly justified or not, all those word doesn't matter. They were not bothering about that. They want to convey what message they want to convey through the browser. They're going to display it, right? So that type of coding, we say it as a presentation oriented markup. Okay, that type of coding we say it as what? Presentation oriented markup. In markup language we have two types. One is presentation oriented markup. Second one is semantic markup. Okay, in presentation oriented markup, here we are just developers are just displaying the content. How it will be displaying for the user, they were not bothering about that, right? Only the content what they want to convey for the other client or the other users, they're just trying the data to be displayed on the browser. That is what they were doing. But they were not using any CSS, any cascading style sheets. They were not using that. Those type of features were not using at that time. So what they did, they used one more markup language. Means they start using the one more markup language that we say it as a semantic markup language. Like the semantic markup language, actually we have many advantages of using semantic markup language than this presentation oriented markup language. Right. One is semantic markup language has its support for CSS or JavaScript. All frames it was supporting the semantic markup language. Right. But when it comes to presentation oriented, there were no CSS, there were no JavaScript, only the HTML tags. They want to display the data to the users. But when it comes to the semantic markup language, they start beautifying the data. Right. They start beautifying the data. They have one design before displaying particular data, particular page for the users, right? To design their web page, this CSS were used, right? In semantic markup language, the CSS and JavaScript or Java frameworks were supported, right? And one more advantage of using semantic markup language is that we already have a code. I already have a code is there, right? I want to display some other web page. I have code one particular page, right, for some other reason. I want to display some data to the user. That what is that, right? Again, I want to display some other data. It's a slight modification I want to do with the present code. The slight modification I want to do with the present code that is available. That is what support in the semantic markup. That is not in the presentation oriented. That is one of the what advantage. Right? Means it is easy maintainability. Maintainability means I have a code, I want to display that code, I can display the code at any time. And if I want to modify that code, and also I can modify the particular code, and I can modify and I can display the other content to the users. That we said as a one advantage is what? Maintainability. Right? We have many advantages. It is maintainability. Semantic markup is easier to update and change the web pages. Web pages is there, the code is there. Okay, if we use the semantic markup, we can easily update that code. We can easily modify that code. It contains a great deal of presentation markup. Right? While presenting, it will be very helpful. Because if I want to recorrect, if I want to change the code to the present code, that is support. That the support is there in the semantic markup. And when it comes to presentation orientation, this semantic markup is faster. The semantic markup is faster than this presentation orientation markup language. Accessibility. visiting a web page. Accessibility means, see, all type of users can access the particular page, right? How we have to code the data, how we have to code means all type of user can access those data. Means some physical disabilities will be there, right? For example, some may be blind, right? Some may be blind. They want to use, they want to see, they want to use the particular web page, right? So for those type of people, for those disabilities, we have in where this we have this in semantic markup, there is a chance of coding a voice reading software. We can implement, we can embed that voice reading software in the what semantic markup, so that by here what the words which the particular person will say, that web page or that compiler or that engine or the search engine, what it will hear and it will display the, or it will give the output for the that particular disability persons, right? That type of thing also we can code. That is also availability is there in the semantic markup. That is what accessibility. Search engine optimization, SEO, very important. Actually nowadays it is very booming. Search engine optimization. Okay, I hope you know there is a role, means there is a profile, job profile is there for SEO engineers. You have here the search engine optimization, right? So what the search engine optimization will do? Whatever the web pages we are creating, right? So those web pages, the main intention, the main aim is what? It should be accessed by the client, it will be accessed by the user, right? For example, I have one shop. Okay, I have an industry, or you can consider it as a Sai Vidya Shop technology, right? For example, I will just type Sai Vidya. I will not type anything college or education system or Sai Vidya or provision store, anything. I will not do anything. I just give the word Sai Vidya, right? Once Sai Vidya word has been given on the browser, right, by the user, the first link or the first data what displaying for the user, right? For example, if you Sai Vidya, in the first only Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, that particular college has been displayed, right? Next, some other college, for like Sai Vidya Kendra Vidyalaya Institute of Technology, something, right? First, which particular data, which particular organization's data it is displaying, right? That role is the, that role, that work is the that work is for the this particular search engine optimization engineers, right? In semantic markup, there are some of the keywords. They want to use some of the keywords, right? The basic aim is what? My page, it should display for user. It should display for every users, right? Other than the other web pages. So to do this task, this search engine optimization is very helpful, right? So these keywords are embedded or implemented in the semantic markup. This work we can do with the help of this semantic markup. These are some of the advantages on the presentation oriented markup, right? So in semantic markup means in the HTML, they're going to code the web pages in two ways. One is presentation oriented markup, and second is semantic markup. In presentation oriented, how the data are there, they're going to just pick the data and display for the user. There is no modification and there is no accessibility, no other advantages are there in the presentation oriented markup. When it comes to semantic markup, what we are using today, the semantic markup is have many advantages than this presentation oriented markup, right? The first advantage is just maintainability. Nothing but I have a code, you can able to decode, or I can able to modify that particular code for some other program, for some other project, right? That is there in the semantic markup. And when compared to presentation orientation, semantic markup is quite faster. Accessibility, all type of users. Accessibility means all type of user can use that particular web browser. We can code in that format, right? That is there in the semantic markup. And last, search engine optimization, right? Our web page should display at the top in the engine, in the search engine. So the Google will have some of the algorithms to perform that, right? So the SEO engineers, what will do, they will follow those algorithms so that their company website should display at the top of the other company's website. Right? That work is of the search engine optimization engineers. The same thing, those things we can do with the help of semantic markup keywords. Right? This is regarding the semantic markup concept.